Jeez. All right, let's see how many people actually trade GLOBEX. These are stops that got me in here. What a gap! Oh, I know, it was beautiful. I just noticed it, Santos. I mean, just noticed it. So the problem was um, I wasn't around for that 3 o'clock. I was I was eating. Weird time to eat, I know. But yeah, what a gap. So by the time I got back here, we were on, let's see, this bar here, and we were right here, and I was like, oh man, do I go long? I'm like, no, you kind of, let's see, I was looking at Dom offers at 39.60. Yeah, so I didn't really care about I was actually more concerned about the price action, the order flow. Looking on the Nasdaq and the E-mini, I thought, well, I could take a short here. That's what I want to do is I want to take a short. So I actually scalped out of an ES short here, and I got out here. So here to here, that's it. And now I'm in a Nasdaq MNQ short, um, and I decided, you know what? I got a nice play here on the E-mini. That was good enough for me for GLOBEX. If I lose any more money, it's going to be on the NAS. Oh, interesting spot here on the NAS. Looks like they got me in fully. Oh God, GLOBEX is just such a beast, isn't it? GLOBEX is such a beast. All right, so we're short 6 now with bad position. Really bad position. Okay. So anyway, let's move this up. So we're in on a breakout of essentially that. I mean, it's GLOBEX. I mean, go shred my stops. I mean, these aren't stops. These are limits. But this is what they do in GLOBEX, isn't it, right? Go take the stops, cover outside. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Um, so just to let you know, these, oh man, 39.60. There's liquidity up at 39.60. Not much. 39.60. Not much. There's 10, 11, 10, way up there. Anyway, these orders here that you see, those are stops down in here. Those are actual stops. So the market goes down there, it'll get me into shorts. If the market goes up right now, I limit fill on up here. If it goes up above this area, I stop out. Oh, it could get nasty for me. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I can see on the DOM that they pooled liquidity. So they had right at the open 200. Let's see. Well, in this session, approximately negative 281, negative 237, negative 260, negative 217, negative 215, negative 139, negative 113, and negative 108. That goes from 39.53 all the way to 39.56. I don't know how that formed, to be honest. It was obviously pooled. Well, yeah, I have no idea. I have no idea. My pooling stacking is for both sides. So it makes sense when I see it in real time, but if it's not real time, it doesn't make any sense after the fact. Whatever. It's all good. GLOBEX is such a crapshoot. Such a crapshoot. All right, see, there they go. Are they going to get me in? Are they going to get me out, I mean? Right here into these highs? Maybe. Only reason I'm having this far left like this is I don't want it looking like this because of RTH, right? So at some point it becomes a decent looking profile, right? It looks like here. All right, so whatever. I guess that's closer to the action. All right, so we came back up. Now this little node here is going to hold some longs. We'll see. See, that's our last add zone, and then above that we just were wrong. So whatever. So we're getting, are we rotating out here, up here? I don't know. We got a few. We did get a few here. These are trail stops for these ads down here. Kind of interesting the way that these are going to play out here. And this is T+2 for the NASDAQ. What's the E-mini? Where does the E-mini? Oh, it goes away there. The volume width goes away there. No, here. Okay. Where did the E-mini go? NAS was way more sensitive. Look. See why I'm shorting the NAS? So the T+2 on the E-mini, way down here. NAS went all the way to its T+2. Lot more weak. NASDAQ, much more sensitive on this move. Just relative to its structure. So whatever. Ching. GLOBEX. GLOBEX is GLOBEX is a lonely man's game or women's game. I'm not looking at the markets. Sorry, I'm looking at other things. What? What are these crazinesses? All right. Oh, the market went all the way down there, and then now it's all the way back up. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to get out of this position now? Yeah, I guess so. That's the not really, but that's the what do you call it? The that would be the thing most people would want to do. All right, stops above. I mean, they just go get it in GLOBEX, you know? God, GLOBEX is such a killer to trade, isn't it? I hate GLOBEX. Every time I trade it, I think to myself, why do I do this to myself? Not every time, but enough, right? Enough. Um, this is a big volume node right here. So you could find stops here and then still reject at this volume node. Hmm. 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 Things that make you go, hmm. Now, there were buyers here too, but not a ton. But still, there were buyers that slowed it down at opening VWAP. Interesting. You know what? I'm going to do one of those rare things and move the stops up. Let's see if it bites me in the butt. I'm going to move stops up. One of these GLOBEX monsters is going to watch. You know what it feels like? You always feel like with GLOBEX, they're monitoring everything. And they're like, we're watching this little peon stream and let's go get his stops. Look at this idiot. He put his stops for everybody to see. That's what it always feels like. Yeah, they might get it. We'll see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, and up to here. That's okay. We're going to add as it goes up. And we're not going to show our hand here. Tape's so slow, man. CWOP, it's so slow. It was fast there for a little bit, and I played it on the e-minis, or on the mini contracts, and now I was like, for the outside chance that we make another move here, why don't I get on a live stream, trade some micros, and see what I can do? And now I'm thinking to myself, you idiot. You freaking idiot. Oops. Yeah. Da, 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 da. Come on. Got this. Oh, it's just so thin out there. Why am I playing? Anybody ever have this? Oh, Kimster. I do trade GLOBEX sometimes, but most of the time I don't. It just depends. I mean, if there's extreme volatility, I'm a monster in GLOBEX. But if it's just like how it's been, it's just a waste of my time unless I'm up at the European Open where you get some volume and you get some initiative. Otherwise, like CWOP says, the tape is just so freaking slow that it's kind of like, just shoot me already. Anyway, time for some desktop audio and elevator music or something. Let's see. YouTube Studio. I'll turn some on and I'll adjust it. Audio library. Dramatic. Let's see what this sounds. Yeah, this is nice. Can you guys hear it? Is it okay? All right. I'll do work. Oh, you don't hear anything. Huh. I love the package 12 um, be, because of the MBO. And if you filter, so Primo Israel, uh, music wise, no. That's weird. Can you hear it now? Oh, you know what? Let me try something real quick. Advanced audio properties. Yeah, it's muting the output. We'll monitor it and output it. Do you guys hear it now? Should be better now. I just turned it on. I just I want it to mix properly with my headphones. No? Postman, what's happening? Um, man, still no music? Weird. Well, I certainly have it on. Let's see. Advanced audio properties, monitor and output. No music. Okay. Track one, sync, mono, desktop audio. Should be good. All right. Let's try a little bit more. Now it's up at 0. Well, I want it to be 0. Or not 0, quiet. I just turned it up. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and see how loud it is. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and see how loud it is. Alright. Yeah, it seems like it's about right, doesn't it? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and pause it and see how loud it is. Alright. Yeah, it seems like it's about right, doesn't it? Alright, I'm gonna... Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on here. Alright. Yeah, it seems like it's about right, doesn't it? You see what happens? You see what happens? I'm listening on my desktop to myself, and then I'm talking, and it sounds like a weird conversation going on. See, that's essentially what happens. So, anywho, let's turn off the because I'm listening to the YouTube. So, all right. So that should be good now. All right, I'll close this. I think I figured it out. And it's funky, happy. Come on. Dramatic, angry. How about that? There we go. That's how I'm feeling with GLOBEX right now. Yeah. So, remember what I said, guys, about the 10 SMA and how it's a timing mechanism for the market? Here's the 10 SMA on both the E-mini and the NASDAQ. So there it is right there. So if we're going to head down, probably happen pretty soon in the next 20 minutes. Same here. But, maybe not until, because this is GLOBEX. Maybe they go get stops, then they sell it. We'll see. Or they slow grind it for the next 15 hours straight up, and we stop out painfully. Welcome to GLOBEX. Really, it's that bad sometimes. God, I was actually thinking. I was actually just thinking about Mike's trading remix in the house, and someone was asking me, or they said they'd come on the stream to listen to me do an AC/DC cover. Um, Thunderstruck would not be my jam. I mean, I like I like the song, but I do not have the voice for AC/DC. Now, you want me to sing some opera? Yeah, I'll bust it out one of these days when I'm feeling good. But AC/DC, no. I'd butcher it. Um. Anyway, what was I saying here? Saying something about something. Oh, I don't know. I'm happy to be in the office a little bit. We need like a little Tetris game in the chat, right? Where you can 1v1 or something. You'll be here for that. Opera. Entice. Do I know who you are? Is your wife involved in the opera Entice? Is that what's here? Is that what's going on here? Do I think I know who I'm talking to? And I just haven't, I'm clueless. All right, breakout time. Here we go. Come on. Zero print, zero print. Nobody's even selling yet. So that's interesting, right? All buying, no selling. So that's interesting in real time, right? Isn't it always interesting when you look at something in the markets and you see like they bought, and nobody sold. They waited, nobody sold it. So I wonder. Yeah. Come on. Time for GLOBEX failures. GLOBEX failure. All right. GLOBEX failures. Nah, wrong guy. You're probably the same guy. That's okay. You want to stay anonymous. Or not. That's okay too. Whatever. And Tice is worried. It's like, if I'm the same guy, will you ban me? No, of course not. Of course not, my friend. It wouldn't be a bad guy to wouldn't be a bad guy to be if you were the other guy. Yeah, I mean, look, there's where did the sellers go? I mean, there's some sellers here on the E-mini. You can take a look here. There's some look. You see that? Berg. Iceberg. Look. It's a berg. Let's see. Somebody dumping it into 43.20. Well, they're just selling into it, huh? That's interesting. Santos. Santos knows. He knows what I'm talking about. All right. Well, we're still short 25, but it's gonna scream up, get all my stops, and then make the reversal. Whoa, what was that? Audio library. There we go. Yeah, market is so slow at this time. Here's what you do in GLOBEX. You show everybody the M and Qs. You have an NQ DOM open. You're about to market sell this son of a gun. Sucker everybody in on the M and Qs. I don't know. Just kidding. Or am I? I am not playing NQ right now. But you can think of all these little games that people play in slow markets. What? So Primo Israel says, "What are your thoughts on Tick Strike?" I don't know anything about Tick Strike. Tell me about it. Oh, Tick Strike. Um, Audio representation of the market. Um, I don't know. I've heard people say good things. I've never used it, so. But I'd imagine that as traders, we. Hold on. As you know, I want to get out of break even, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Um, as traders, we use our senses, don't we? I mean, eyes. I guess one way to interpret the market would be with our ears. So it may help some people and other people who are irritated by too many noises as they trade um, might really get agitated by it. So for me, um, I don't want too many noises when I'm trading. I don't want like bing, bing, or choof, choof, like all this stuff going off. I tried it for a while because I really liked trading technologies, um, the DOM and some other things, and kind of their heads up I liked. And I put all these lasers and different noises on, and on some days it would just agitate me to no end. Like, just absolutely drive me bonkers. So, I don't know. Three. Yeah, I guess you got to know yourself. Know what works for you. Kimster says, "Do you use cumulative delta?" Um, yeah, it's up here. So, cum delta is right here, underneath the each number bar, right down here. So I use it. How do I use it? Tendex Capital wrote a great article about cumulative delta, and he has a blog, and his views about cum delta are my views. Not literally, but I agree with him. So here, let me find you the. I think it's Substack or something. Let me find it for you. I'll link it. Tendex Capital cumulative delta cumulative delta back in 2021. There you go. Here it is. Oh, that's cool. I don't know. I don't know. I just know that I liked Tendex's Twitter. That's all. Thought he had a great Twitter. Here it is. There's the article. Oh, I'm about to get stopped out. Look at how the mini versus the Nasdaq are in different structure here, short term. All right, what was my 25? Right in here, and then it goes up higher. Okay, yeah. Yeah, if it works, then more power to you. I used to have cumulative delta um, on a chart. Here we go. All right, broke above the 10. Hmm. A little more. You're like, it hasn't even made the impulse. Yeah, welcome to GLOBEX. This might be the vertical move in GLOBEX later. We're like, whoa, look at that rally. Should have sold it. Maybe. Um, so I don't know. Some people are like, you know, if deltas are not moving up with the market, then it's divergence. If deltas are moving down with the market, then the market's moving according to the buying and selling pressure, blah, blah, blah. Um, but what it won't really show you a lot of times is order flow very well. So you're like, how so? Well, it won't show you if they're rebidding, for example. So for example, let's just take a really simple analogy of prices at 100 and it's moving up and there's increments of a $1. It, the price ladder is increments of $1, right? So you have 100, then 101, 102, 103, 104, etc., all the way up to 110. So people are bidding 10 lots at every level, both on the bid and on the ask. Okay? So the bid gets hit at 100, right? Then they hit the ask, but they only hit 5 lots on the ask because that's all that the sellers that there are. And someone puts again 10 lots at that level, they fill 5, now they're on the bid again. Okay? And then they come in and they bid 5 more lots at that level. And then there's, let's say, showing 10, but then as soon as you go to hit it, they pull 5 off the backside of the next level up, like 10, say 102. And so that 10, fills that 10, 102, and then they rebid it, and then they sell into it again, right? So someone sells into the 10 with, say, 5 lots or something, or 10 lots. You can see that because they're rebidding on the bid side, you're going to have negative delta while the price moves up. So what cumulative delta doesn't show you is it does show you, I guess, that price is rising on a passive bid. Right? So they're just absorbing on the bid and there's a lot less sellers than there are buyers. So I just find that you'll have whole days that they move price like this, and a lot of people misuse it and say, hey, cumulative delta is moving down while price is moving up. I better short this. And they use it as a gauge for, I guess, the wrong reasons. And so it's not always that useful. But if there are people who use it very successfully, consistently in their trading, and they're profitable traders, then more power to them. I have just found that having it up gives me a very poor bias towards the short-term direction of the market. So that's just me. It's not for me, it's not an extremely powerful tool to day trade with short term. It's not extremely, it does work sometimes, but it's not extremely consistent. But I may be exposed to the wrong people. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. But anyway, that's my take on it. James Ferreira says we had a good spike in calls today and are really close to gamma shift towards short-term positive gamma. Oh, cool. Hmm. So the postman asks, how do you feel about cumulative delta when watched on a range chart instead of candlesticks? I don't know. I think I feel the same way about it. Oh, did he? Black said that. Um, you know what's funny is I've heard a lot about Merritt Black, but I've never watched any of his videos ever. Um, I think I know what he might look like because he was maybe interviewed by Crudelli, and I never watched the interview. Um, there's only so much you can watch out there, so I don't know. Now that I have YouTube Premium, maybe I'll hold on. There you go. Now that I have YouTube Premium, maybe I will have more time to watch more videos. That's what happens when you eat, man. Eat a lot of food. A weird time of the day, you get kind of tired. You know what? I need water. I need hydration. I don't want water. I want mineral water, right? I'm going to come back and these are all going to get stopped. That's okay. I'm exactly where I want to be here. Okay. Yeah, I do need coffee. Only had two espressos. Two? Yeah, I had two espressos today. Early, and that's it. I've been drinking a little more coffee the last few days, and it's kept me up at night. So I'm a bit of a natural night owl. So yeah, here we're doing that whole thing where we just slowly grind up, slowly grind up. I hate it. So why did I do this? Oh yeah, I took the whole bottle of orange sparkling mineral water. I'm just gonna drink this whole thing. It's gonna be so good. I have stopped out of a lot of these micro Nasdaq contracts. Wait, I stopped out of one more. No. There we go. Emmanuel Dos Santos says, I hate this move. I am never convinced to enter position. Oh, dude. I hate it. I hate it too. But, welcome to GLOBEX. There was volatility, and then there wasn't. So, when you get into profit on a move like this, and it goes your way, you need to wait for a long time in trend to take profit. Just saying. So that's something you have to consider on a move like this. I'm already prepping myself for the mental warfare of potentially. I'm plus 600 on the MNQs in profit, right? I want to take profit now. You can't do that. You got to let it go. Because if this thing turns out, then it'll probably take out lows. Meanwhile, it's the pain train. Oh, yeah. All right, let's see. Where are we at? 46. 5250 is resistance. Big time resistance. So this 5250 up here is the RTH low today, right? And notice that's where we gapped into. You see that? Oh man. Well, once you get to this point up here, what you want to do is you sometimes want to say, well, let me get out of this position and try to reshort up here, right? Or up here. That is usually what you want to do. But it's not what I do. I just take my loss. Instead of taking the losses here, I'll take them up here. And then if I want to re-enter, I'll re-enter. Just reevaluate. But always sucks to have a loser. Up here. Can you see how excuse me, if you move your stop loss up here and then stop up way at the top, how bad it gets? That would be all out maybe just stop out at the top. 1,000 MNQ points. So 2,000 MNQ dollars. That would be that's not fun. That's a bad one. So here it'll be like, I don't know, 670 bucks or something. Just stop out the way I am. It's not a big deal. Oops. As soon as we pivot here, and I mean as soon as we pivot, I'm going to get it back to 40. Uh, what else is good out there, guys? What is good? Talk to me. Hey. So by the way, up here, this darker volume profile is our current session. And then this volume profile, that's a little brighter, is from the RTH. Up 69.10. Good enough. That's right. Manual says crude close till low of day. James Ferreira says, what's your favorite rotation or time frame to look for stacked imbalances? Honing in on that this week. Um, I typically just use the 5 minute, Mr. James. All week, it's probably the last week and a half. Um, I don't do stacked imbalances. Um, I just do bid ask delta imbalances, and that's it. Yay! Hmm. So James, we you likely use the stacked imbalance studies. I don't, but I'm curious what you're using and what works for you for sure. Can we pivot down here? Of course we can. Emmanuel says, very interesting on the ES at the top of the 5 minute bars with high positive deltas. Now reverting, it seems. Yeah, I mean, there certainly has been some absorption here in little cells. So we go high absorption, and then this bar we sell, and then they absorb it. And then here we have this, and now we're getting a bunch of negative deltas below. So they're trying with initiative to sell it, and there's some absorption through here. You can see the volume profile widening. So this is nothing to get super bearish about yet, to be honest. It's got to start making lower lows and lower highs, but we're not there. We're, excuse me, we're trying on the NASDAQ right now, which is great. Oh, cool. TP says, I get the concept of trap traders, but I have a hard time putting it into play. Yeah, TP, I don't know. I I think the way I talk about it is probably so different than what most people talk about that you don't hear it a lot, right? And so maybe if you've been exposed to other people and the way that they think about markets, they don't think about traders as being trapped in this way, right? And so I think that that could be a little bit problematic for a lot of people to try and think that way. Oh my gosh, this mineral water is so good. So James Ferreira says, I got into Zip's room and have been playing with all his stuff and Ticino's. Cool. I have been liking PNF 5-3 rotation to show absorption ranges really nicely. Then using text coloring set to diagonal greater than bid-ask ratio with volume threshold alert set to look for 3 levels. Oh, that's cool. Oh, really cool, man. Um, Emmanuel says, I am still long biased and I'm looking for a long entry after the pullback if we don't make a new low. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Thank you for sharing, James. I appreciate it. You know what sucks is for all of these that I entered, 82, 83, 84, 85, and their stops are up here. Around here, let's see, the trail stops should active. Where are they going to activate? Let me see. 32, 74. So what is this? 894, 74, 20. Around here, they should activate. Let's see. See how nice we could make this look here. These trail stops should activate somewhere around. So if it was 94, 68, 64, 62. Around here, I think. I think the trail stops will activate here. So let's see, right? If we get there, because here we are breaking. So, right now, short term, Emmanuel, if you're a long bias, this is the spot. Look. This is the breakout point. This is where they'll defend. Because their short's wrong here. So don't ever accuse me of not helping somebody against my bias here. Oh boy. It should activate somewhere. So one of these, if these start popping in here, God, where are they going to pop into play? Shouldn't they get active around here? Hmm. Let's see. Come on. These are stop losses that activate on new lows. So I'm hoping to be short here, all the way down here. You're like, you crazy man. I know. So anyway, we're in the bounce point, Emmanuel. Stops being run now. I love how Emmanuel says, now we're just getting stops because we're about to rip. Okay, buddy. Emmanuel, here's what I would argue. The trend is from way up here. You just got the pullback in trend. Now you go with continuation. All the way down, new lows. All of you people are fighting the intraday tape right now rather than the longer term trend. But okay. I'm kind of just talking ish a little bit. A little bit. It's what I think a little bit. But I'm also arguing both sides. Yeah, I think short term, if you're looking for a short term entry, just get long here. Maybe we rotate back up, take out all my stops, and I'm a sad boy. But um, for a more for what I think is going to happen is something like that, and then new lows, something like this. That's what I think is going to happen, and it might take 25, 30 minutes of us just sitting here going, "Oh my God, it's this is the most boring market in the history of the world." Welcome to GLOBEX. Yeah, it's terrible. Audio track is unavailable. What? Or, GLOBEX is so vicious. We just go straight up, take out all these stops. Oh, this one triggered in. Look. All three are triggered in. So it triggered in at, what is it, a 1R stop or something? Is that what happened? Let me see. Yeah, it triggered in at 1R is what it did. See that? Wait a second. Yeah, it did. It triggered in at 1. So 5-point stop. What are these in profit? The 3.5? Oh, so it didn't trigger in at 1R. Oh, you son of a gun. What is this here? What am I doing? What am I using? I'm using a TTS 5-point initial. Oh, it doesn't trigger in that like that. Mm-mm-mm. That's ugly. Yeah, we'll just take it on this one. Nice that it locks in the profit, but doesn't quite do it the right way. Let's hide behind the, let's hide right at the 50 lot up there at 42.25. This is GLOBEX. 50 lots means something. You know what sucks is that here, you see, oh, he's up 300 points on micros. Well, what you don't see is that I'm down on this position like 220 points already from stopping out. So, you know, not so hot. Hmm. If I'm trading, I turn that stinking trade, uh, whatever the points, I turn it off. I don't keep that on. That's only for you guys. Um, so I hopped on here right after I started trading, and so I didn't even have time to turn it on. But if you guys were to see, you'd see, oh, he's down. So, all right, let's see. Hey, Manuel, did you get long right here? Oh, I gave you the entry, buddy. You'd be up 15, 16, 18 points. See, helping a friend. All right, here's resistance here, right up here. Or do we just make a higher low and trend up? Emmanuel knew. Now we should have taken the whole position off right here. Just go market buy. Nah, until it goes and takes out the stops. Then I say, oh, man. Emmanuel says, yes, I did, but I scratched it, as always. Trying to remember what our conversations were in the old Discord, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, was it you that said I can't remember exactly. Was it you that's, and I don't want to speak too personally, but was it you that said you struggle with, you have good entries and then it hesitates, and because it doesn't immediately do what you want it to do, you get out? Yeah, that's right. I think I suggested to you to put a timer on your trades and that you can't exit your trade until A, your stop is hit, or B, your timer goes off, or your profit target for better than 1R goes off. Did you ever try doing that with smaller than usual size? Yeah, but you just have to do it. If you determine what your stop loss is and you determine what your profit target is, Emmanuel, then you just that's your rule. If if you violate your rule, then make an agreement with yourself. Um, I don't know, hook something up to your nipples and shock yourself. And if that pain is worse than not following your rule, then you'll follow your rule. It shouldn't be something that's discretionary. The rule is 1 plus 1 equals 2. If you have the wrong response, if 1 plus 1, if you say 1 plus 1 equals 3, then the hammer comes down and smashes your finger. Done. Oh boy. I feel you, brother. I feel you. Really, I actually do. I do. I know what you're talking about. It's the problem is that if you think you can break your rules, they're not really rules, and that's an issue. See what I was doing here, guys? Adding to my position, trying. Why do you think I'm trying to add to a position? Because I like the way it impulsed. Next day I'm off trading with nipple clamps. Oh man, best postman in the world. Mommy, the postman just waved at me. He had something hooked up to his breast pockets, and he kept yelling. Ah! Sorry for that. Oh. All right. Now that one that got added, guess what I'm gonna do? Guess what I'm gonna do? Bing. Go take it off. Now it starts, ladies and gentlemen. Now it starts. I didn't get what I wanted because GLOBEX is too slow. If this was RTH and there was some liquidity out there, you just go hit the bids right there, right? Like making the lower high into the 20 SMA, you just go smack it, right? And then when it comes in, so the stop was here, the entry's here, right? And then when you get your 1R, you just take it all off. And then if you can get like, 50 short here, right? MNQ. You get 50 short, your stops are here. You go take it off all right here. Right? Now your position goes up because you take profit. Right? Now you have a better position. Better and like the stops go to the same spot. So if you're wrong, then well, oh well. But that's one way to improve your position. And what if you're wrong? Well, then you stop out here. Right? Whatever. It's a short-term bet on a little move. I got what was it? One? I got one MNQ. That sucks. The market didn't hang out long enough up here for it to go dink, dink, dink. That's how you have to play GLOBEX. You get too aggressive in GLOBEX, they punish you. It's the worst. It is the worst. Feds George. Sorry, let me read this. I expect Fed's policy rate to be in the neighborhood of 2% by August. There's evidence inflation is clearly decelerating and will inform judgments about further tightening. Inflation is too high and too broad to dismiss. Returning it to the Fed's 2% goal is a top priority. Okay, more of the same. Yeah. So right now, short term, this, God, look at me looking at bodies, but this body here is where shorts have been covering. See that? No interest. And there's a little volume node here, just a itty bitty one. Here, let's see. You can see it better if you do this, right? So you see the longs buying above. It bodes well for you, Emmanuel. It does. It actually bodes well for, right, the shorts covering above here, maybe some people getting long here as well. But then this breakdown and return to this zone doesn't bode well. But God, it's so little data. You know, I'm trying to like analyze it, and at this point, it's just GLOBEX and ugly. So I don't know. We break this, we're making a lower low, and longs will get out. So we'll just see. You break this, and shorts will get out probably. So right now we just have a short term. We got this. Oops. And we have this. That's it. Oops. Jeez. Get rid of this. We don't need to remind Santos of where he should have held as long. Yeah, this is that point where it's like just throw the dice. Who knows? I mean, we got time, I guess, to just sit here and hi ho, figure it out. I don't know. Overanalyzing. Yeah. Who knows? Let's see. Postman. For a long time, I traded in a demo account after entering a position on the stop loss or take profit was already set, and then just practice walking away. Practice putting or my golf swing. Just do anything to occupy the mind and let the game play out. I like it, Postman. My 2 cents for whatever it's worth. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you're sitting here in front of the PC and if you sit and watch the screen, you just can't help yourself. Your fingers start having a mind of their own. They just start going bananas. And then they gotta click. Well, you need to get away. So that's one of the great things about getting on a stream or talking to somebody about the markets in real time is that, hey, there's that 40 lot. They got filled. Now, were they filling underneath the market? That is the question. All right. So they came in here, right? And now we have 36, 20, 19, 23, 7, 14, 20, 20, 20. It is conceivable they filled here. It's conceivable that they kind of got long here and then took profit into this, or maybe they now took profit from their long, or they're into a partial short and they want to add above. It's kind of interesting to think about these things. It's just such low volume, right? Just such low volume. A lot is possible though. Anyway, yeah, I mean, that's one of the good things about distracting yourself while trading. For me, being on a treadmill is incredibly useful. And, oh, excuse me, clicking around screens and talking and answering questions while I'm still in trades. Like right now, I'm in a trade, and, you know, if it loses, it loses. If it wins, it wins. I might start talking about something, come back to it 15 minutes later, and all of a sudden I'm up like, 1,500 points. But if you had watched every tick and traded like a DI whatever ick, then you probably would take profit way too early sometimes. So, if you have a decent order type with the trail stop, sometimes if you've got the volatility set right on that thing, it'll get you in and out of trades the way you're supposed to get in and out, right? Because a lot of times when you have a trail stop, what ends up happening is the trail stop gets activated after you've had some reversal and a higher high, right? But if the trail stops working properly, it's keeping you in the trade as long as we're making lower highs and lower lows. So the trail stops should be around behind the lower high, right? So example here, right? Let's here. All right, we're up, we're down, we're up. Let's say we're down, right? The trail stops should maybe, I don't know, activate and go here. Something like that, right? And then when we come back up, you're not out. Then you make a, let's say this is a lot lower, right? A lot lower. Then the trail stops are moving down with the market, right? Maybe trailing this far behind. And then, if you comes back up, it gets you out of the trade. Because now you're making a neutral move in the market. So, I don't know. There's always that. And that's why sometimes walking away helps a lot, because it always sucks when you're in a trade, goes all the way down here, and then you're like, oh, measured moves, right? Measured moves. Should have taken profits here and tried to reshort before it made, an equal high. And then when it moves back up, you start to feel pain and you just get out for a smaller win or something. That's what drives these markets back into these zones, right? Where you get volume node, right? So when you break this, it's everybody in profit from here that drives it back here. And then that's why you get BPWC, right? Where you get rollovers. But I don't know. It's, as you guys know, it's so flippin' hard to trail stop a market. That's why I like to be around, because when I see a market make, this were RTH and I hadn't gotten stopped out all this whole move or whatever, I probably, I don't know, put too many conditions on that. But I probably would have, had we gone into here, just taken off the trade right here. Like, well, then why did, I think we're likely to roll over. That's my bias on a longer time frame. But if I was scalping RTH and I had gotten this entry, I just would have taken off the majority of this trade here and then been much smaller and had a stop right up here. And, maybe even added to it here with the same exact stop, so that it was, the thesis was lower high and then roll over, right? And then maybe still guaranteed a break even trade if I stop out here, because, let's say you have an entry in here and you take profit down in here, right? Because this is what we deem potential support. And so let's say you're 25% of the position left, right? Your original stop was up here, entry here, 1R, 2R, 3R. You're at a break-even trade even if you add a little bit here, not back to 100%, but even adding, just trying to outperform. You're at 100%, or you're at, I'm sorry, a guaranteed winner trade even if you add a little bit and then stop out here. So, and then you have the ability to potentially try and really outperform the trend if you have a thesis of, lower high, and then and you think we're in this, you think that we're doing this here, right? So it's really hard to manage trades though. all that looks good in hindsight, but right now, do you really want to be averaging in? Do you see me adding here on the second time it's now taken out this area? No, because I'm not so confident anymore that we didn't bust down here. We have this candlestick here with hardly any volume at the bottom, and it just went up. So I don't really want to add to this, what is now potentially a bigger loser. You guys know me. First touch of areas right here is resistance. Happy to add a little bit. And where did I take off? Right in here somewhere. Right? Happy to do that. But now it's curling up. Well, now new highs takes me out with all my stops up here. A little less confident, so not going to add to a position that I don't really know. Oops. Jeez. Wrong. Jiminy's. F9? Jeez. So terrible. Okay. F9. I'm over here hitting the delete, or let's see. Yeah, potentially highlight, delete all in Sierra chart. I guess that's Shift F. Oh, I don't even know. Anyway, Alvaro Fragrances says, can you make a video explaining better trade window customization and how to execute fast and efficient? I do still swing stocks at Venus, but I don't have time to talk about it anymore. That's part of my analysis on weekends is, and I mentioned this on all my videos, is to chart the S&P 100, the Nasdaq 100, if I get time. I always do the top 25 market cap, and some of those are in both indexes, so it doesn't take me that long. But yeah, I do, and then I set alerts on all of them, so the alerts go to my mobile phone on toss, and then I'll enter positions on toss. It's great. Ooh, they're selling it on a little bit of volume here. You see this? Nasdaq, a little bit of volume. You're all bidding here. They're selling into you. That's interesting. Some decent volume there. Huh. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I can do that with the trade window. I mean, I've done it. There is the video out there where I go over the trade window and then a bunch of sexy order types. So you can place an order type, for example, that here I'll see if I can't go over it here a little bit. Let's see, F9. We'll go Control. So you can place an order type. Let's say it has a sell here with an order like this. And a stop like this. So it's a buy stop. So this would be a buy. This would be a sell with a oh, I got this backwards. Sorry. So this would be, let's see, sell, buy, and then this is a buy. Oh, sorry. Oh. And then these are both connected. So you place a single order for a sell up here, and then it has a bracket with the stop loss, and then a single order for a buy, and then it has a bracket with the stop loss. So in other words, if price is moving right in here, right, like this, and it's moving in a channel, you're like, if it breaks the channel, I want to sell it with the buy stop here to get out of my short, because I think the market's going to be in false breakout. It's going to, if it goes above, I want to sell it. If it goes below, I want to buy it, right? And then I want to stop out of the position here when I buy, and then it'll have a bracket order to sell. Sorry. Yeah, I want to stop out of the position here, and then I want to take profit up here. Or you can make each of these, instead of limits, you can make them stop orders, OCO, so that if the market breaks up, you have a buy stop up here with a bracket order already attached to it, with a sell stop, and then this is a sell limit, right? SL, sell limit. But if it then goes down, or if it not then, but instead, if it doesn't break up and it oscillates here and it goes down, it hits the sell stop, and the sell stop has a bracket. And what's cool about this, right, is if this order gets triggered, it triggers the brackets associated with it. And if this one gets triggered, it triggers the bracket associated. But if one of these gets triggered first, it cancels the other. So in other words, you have, oh boy. In other words, you have these stops like this that are OCO, and then each one of these has orders like this, right? And these are OCO. One cancels other, or whatever. So if this one fills first, then it goes and it cancels this whole group. If this one fills, then it cancels this whole group. But then it activates the bracket. So that's great for breakouts, where you're like, I want to buy stop here, or I want to sell stop here. This order could activate a sell with a bracket with the stop up here, and then a take profit down here, right? So there it is. You can be like that, right? Good risk reward. 1, 2, 3, or 4 R's, 3.5 R's here. But if it goes down, then activate this one and cancel that whole group, and then have the stop like this. Here's your entry, and your stop, or your take profit is 4 R's way down there. Isn't that cool? So that video shows you stuff like that. And that exists in the Sierra Chart tips and tricks series, which is in the Sierra Chart playlist. And so I go into it in the it's a whole thing about like tricking out your trade window and stuff like that. So Alvaro, that exists already. And that'll teach you a lot about how these things operate. And oh, you're on Ninja Trader. Bummer. Oh, I'm going to get stopped out. Look. I mean, what are the chances? I'm going to get stopped out. Look. The E-mini's already made higher highs. The NASDAQ hasn't yet. Oh, it's a loser. You know, Manuel, you're right. Bummer. That sucks. What are you going to do? Stop out. That's what you're going to do. And live to trade another day. Okay. I'm going to find that video for you, Alfonso, or Alvaro Fragrances. You're connecting IB. I used to do that. I used to do IB and Sierra Chart. I did it for stocks. I wouldn't always talk perfectly back and forth. There was some ways I could break it by disconnecting one or the other first. It was just a little bit problematic for me when the margin or some of the trade positions weren't. I could break it. I'm not gonna talk crap about it, but I could break it. So whatever. Here, let me find this. Let me find this for you, buddy. There we go. My mouse is a little bonkers here. All right, we'll find it here. I hope. Playlists. You know why I want to find this? Oh, so I don't have to look at the stupid position when it stops out. That's why. I'm not even looking at my screen. I don't have orders that stop out. There's no noise. I just look at the screen. I'm like, I'm out. Okay, whatever. Did you know that? I don't want to hear them go bling bling bling. Like, don't remind me. I don't. I just don't want to hear it. Okay, Sierra chart. Tips and tricks. Oh, it's tips and tricks number 7. Boo-hoo. Or booyah, I mean. Copy. All right, I'll link you in the stream here. Oh, great, Emmanuel. Yeah, Emmanuel came into the Discord that doesn't exist anymore at the very end of it, and I'm pretty sure he was a sad puppy because it was a cool little group. But I was already getting burned out of the Discord because it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. All right. So that video has, I think, timestamps. Sorry, associated. Oops, something went wrong. Oh, that's weird. Maybe it's because maybe that's the wrong link. It's like the studio link, huh? Oh, stupid. Content. Let's do it again. Jeez. Playlists. Sierra chart. How could that be wrong? It's so weird. All right, tips and tricks number 7. Yeah, number 7. And about the trade window. Oh, I even labeled all these. Buy and sell buttons. Order types. All right, it's at 1240. Yeah, buddy. Okay. Share. Start at 1240. Copy. Okay. Now, let's see. My channel. Oh boy. Go back in. YouTube Studio. Live. Oh, I suck. Just suck sometimes. All right, live right now. There you go. Going to mow my lawn. Enjoy. All right, here you go, Alvaro. 759 seconds in, which is 12 minutes. So, so there you go, buddy. I'm actually curious now, believe it or not, what I said about that was so long ago. All right, let's turn the desktop off here and turn this up. See what I had to say. Oh, it's at like 14. 14, 15. It's in there in the description. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that essentially does show you what you want. Oh, Emmanuel, have a good one, buddy. I wasn't looking at the chat. Mm, mm, mm. Man, I had the wrong stop set here on these ads. Oh well. Okay. How the heck do I get back to this? Analytics, video, hi chat. Where is it? I don't know. There's gotta be something up here. I looked at this the other day. 1080p. Report, save, clip, share. Oh, I don't know. Anyway. Da, 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 da. Where did we add those? We added stop would have been here. Take profits into the 50s. Row. There we go. Now we got our 40 still. Here's an example of a late entry down here at 77, and then just getting out for 8 or 9 points per contract for the ad, and just going with short-term momentum with the tighter stop. So that's what that was. Ugh. I'm losing the will to want to live through this trade. So James Ferreira says, could you talk? Um, so could you talk? He says, could you talk about much, if any, about how much, if any, does the state of the auction and the footprint weigh in on your decision when taking reversion back up or down to previous high volume nodes, trying to include unfinished? So James, I feel like I'm talking about trap traders almost all the time. Um, Auctions on the chart, but it gets so cluttered. Meaning, are you focused more on the HVN above or the state of the auction and the HVN? So, hold on. So my short answer to that, James Ferreira, is when a node breaks to the downside and larger structure also breaks, like a balance area, and we're seeking, I'm going to try to talk in market profile terms. We're seeking out new value below. We're also extending from balance. And we immediately find more buyers and sellers lower. And so the rate of volume increases. And there's an unfinished auction immediately from the prior balance breakout area. I could care less about an unfinished auction up there until we get back to that zone. So I don't let it impact how I'm thinking about the short-term balance area where there's a new auction starting with higher volume. I don't let it impact me. I focus on the near-term price action within the new balance area. Does that help? Oh, Alvaro, I'm right there with you, brother. Sierra chart gets complicated for me too. Sometimes I watch some of my old videos and I think I knew that at one point. That's the truth. That is the truth. Because you go down rabbit holes with Sierra chart and then you realize, oh well, I could do that differently or better or something. And then, oh, cool. Right on, James. Um, I'm glad to, I guess, help maybe a little bit. The reason I don't like to focus on the unfinished auction when we're moving away from it is because people lose money doing it that way. And in the Discord I used to run, people would always, because they had watched some of my videos and they assumed that an unfinished auction, you go back and sort of test it right away, they would lose money. Because they assumed that you would always go back and revisit the auction right away, they just enter a position contrary to the direction the market was moving in the short term with the hope that we would go back and get it. right? And so it's kind of like if you're dealing with market profile and a poor low, right? We get the poor low, we get a bounce from the poor low, and what do a lot of market profile traders do? They short because we got to go back and get that poor low in the same session, right? That's what they do. Look at the poor low um, back at 3807.50. Here we are at 39.43. 39.43. Now, if you're going to hold that short, where do you stop out? Yet, short term, there's so many market profile auction theory traders that go, poor low. It's got to go crack. Well, it's left over. It's a poor low back from 520. So it's the same exact thing. Does that help you actually trade the direction that the market is moving right now? No, it just says that there was interest down there, or there was an interest to continue selling, and then that there was immediate interest to buy and leave that poor low. It's not necessarily for me about unfinished business. It's more about we went there and the market immediately rejected, leaving identical lows or something. And that tells you more about the state of who's wrong there that they want to cover out. And then all the market profile traders just add fuel to the upside because they're weak money. That's what I think. So unfinished auctions are a little bit similar. But yeah, Alvaro Fragrances. The Sierra chart is it's an incredible rabbit hole, isn't it? Okay, let's see. I personally use thresholds for horizontal delta by price, so I can clearly see relevant imbalances in horizontal delta. Cool. Yeah, that's what I do, Alvaro. I just use some thresholds as well. Uh, you know, uh, Stacked imbalances and all of these deltas, they're cool if they correlate with market structure. But I'm 100% sure that I can trade successfully without delta. 100%. That might be like, what? Why would you say that? Well, it's true. I traded for a long time on Thinkorswim and Trader Workstation futures, just using candles and trend lines and structure. Oh my! But is this an improvement? Yes, it is. Anyway, so now we've made this higher low here. Boy, that's just... And we've built a little volume here, a little volume here, less volume up here, less volume here. So the imbalance is shifting towards the upside. GLOBEX is such a dirty game. Dirty, dirty game. While I'm talking, all these things are going on. What a dirty game. Thin little markets here. Thin little markets. I'm also looking at my 5-minute, my 30-minute charts right here, right now. There we go. That's what I wanted here. Mm. Anyway, what else do we have? I'm gonna one of these days. Someone asked me. I don't remember who, but somebody asked me, would you give us a tour of your whole trading setup? And I will. One of these days, I will set up the OBS to essentially take um, views of every single monitor, and then I'll put numbers. I'll put them all on one screen. Boy, you guys will be like, geez, that's a lot of charts. And they'll look tiny, but you'll have an idea of what they are. That way you can see what I see. Um, you just won't see it very well because it'll be a bunch of garbage. And I'll do it on a live stream, and I'll call it something like, "Hey, how my screens are oriented" or something. I don't know that it's any better than anybody else's. It just works for me. So I don't know. I mean, with trading, isn't that what it is, right? We all have setups that work for us. It's not really better than somebody else's. Nobody really has the best setup. What's his name? Steve Pachigian or whatever. The guy that has a whole room full of monitors with a few order input guys behind him, right? And he just calls out. He looks at all the screens and calls out long this, whatever, 4 S&Ps, right? However he says it, and he just stands there with like a lectern, and he looks around the room, just scanning, and somebody else goes and gets in and out, and he tells them what he tells them in real time, and that's it. And you know what? That would be the worst setup in the world for me. Um, but he loves it, so good for him. More is not better. I mean, sometimes just a laptop is enough. Some people are like, too many screens, way too much going on. Um, your font is way too small. Um, that's fine. I have these glasses on that the thickness of the lenses are variable, meaning depending on where my eyes are, um, I gave my eye doctor measurements from. Oh, I'm going to stop out. I gave my eye doctor measurements from my eye to all my screens, my furthest screens. And then I gave them a diagram. And then they made the lenses of my glasses, my reading glasses, thicker or thinner in some areas to compensate so that whichever way I turn my head and then look to the left through my lenses, the screen is always clear from a central location on my treadmill. Does that make sense? So this number 8 font that I use on 49-inch monitors on a treadmill standing up with 49-inch monitors, a few of them, mounted to the desk, and then 27s mounted vertically. If I just turn my head left and I'm looking 3 feet away, from 3 feet away, from let's say standing up on my treadmill or sitting on this chair, um, it's all clear in every direction, no matter what. No matter if I'm if the distance to the monitor is different, the glasses are compensating for that. So they were expensive, but I explained to my eye doctor what I do, and he was like, "Hey, I've got the perfect lenses for you. They're a little more money. You willing?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's do it, man. It's part of the whole deal." So they work amazingly, my wife comes here. So my wife has better vision than I. Um, and she comes in and tries to stand here without my glasses or anything. And she's like, "How can you see this? I can't even read your font." And I'm like, "It is crystal clear to me because I've got these special glasses." So it's cool. So it's kind of like, in a way, having VR, kind of. Kind of? Uh, yeah, I can't remember the name of the glasses, to be honest. They're called like, yeah, I just can't remember the name of them. And it's some special name, I think. But this market is so dirty. Dirty. Do I have the right stop? Yes, I do. Come on. Magic glasses, chirp tone. Yeah, I forgot what they're called. They're like, are they Apex? No, they're not Apex. They're like, yeah, I just can't remember. Can't remember what they're called. I don't talk about them often enough in my life to remember what they are supposed to be. Da, 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 da. This market's just so dirty. Okay, let me see. Can you say something about how you assess volatility on the fly during the day? If you want. Sure, I guess. I mean, so I wouldn't overcomplicate it. Right? We, first off, you have to recognize that markets go from range bound to out of range bound. Okay? If a market is range bound, when it breaks balance, it's likely to increase in volatility. So if you're taking a trade that is based on taking a breakout, then your stop should be structural, but hold on. Trying to manage this position, guys. You know, I stopped out some, and now I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. That's all. I still have my puny new lows stealth sell stops. One, two, three, with the trailer down here. That's ridiculous. I have all kinds of time to think about how this market may move. So Panama says, do you ever get exhausted from learning to trade a new way or trying a new technique and it exhausts your mind? You feel kind of confused on whether or not it works or not, but it does, just that your mind is tired. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, um, do I? I know what you mean, that it can be exhausting to learn something new because you maybe haven't done it sorry, for long enough. Sorry, here, hold on. Another one. So no, not. I mean, I know what you mean, but no, I don't change my techniques anymore. I just have a whole bunch, and then I just utilize each one at the right time, hopefully. So I'm not trying to learn something brand new anymore. So I can't identify in that way, but I know exactly what you mean when you're learning something new. Um, it does take time for you to start naturally processing what you're learning. So with that, I can totally identify and empathize with you. So this is just it's just interesting. We have this. We have a node here, a little bit up here, a little bit up here, a little bit up here. These forays into highs, very low volume, 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 very low. And quick returns back to here. I think my brain is trying to work overdrive with market profile. So there's both interested buyers and sellers in this area. We have not tested down yet. So from an auction theory perspective, we keep testing up and there aren't really many sellers nor buyers. Just saying. This is where you can use auction theory when you have a little more time. And it's just doing this, right? So you can say, in this session, there's the volume ledge. So there will be stops here. So it's interesting, isn't it? And we have a little volume holding up the show down here. Someone else is betting on this filling out too. But if it goes through, it'd probably come all the way down and test. That's interesting. Really interesting. I think we may oscillate back up, but I think that the more likely scenario is to come down and test at some point. There's a volume ledge here. Huh. See, we figure something out. So something was coming to me, and I'm like, well, I better pay attention. We have this build again here. More interest to buy and sell. Right? More interest to buy and sell. Not a lot up here. Not a lot up here. A little bit on the first pass, but up here it hasn't been. It's not like we're seeing buyers up here fill it in like this and then pull back and then go again. We're seeing very low volume and then whoop, right straight back down. So kind of interesting. All right, let's go back to the chat. Harmeet Randhawa says, I think the hardest part for me on order flow is knowing knowing if it's absorption or real selling or buying. If the price doesn't move, but you see a lot of selling or buying, is that simply absorption? Yeah, sometimes. Right? Sometimes it's just a player absorbing. And obviously if somebody's absorbing, somebody's selling. So someone's taking initiative. So you know it's initiative and it's absorption. The question is will the level hold, right? So that's where you look at the larger context of what's the structure above or below. Right? Uh-oh. We have a TTS active here. Trail stop. Trail it right down. There we go. It's going to get us out. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, new color palette. That's it, James. So, essentially, James, here, let me, you see these candlestick charts up here? See how this is green? This profile's green. This profile's blue. I'm sorry, this profile's blue. This one's green. I'm sorry. I'm talking backwards. This is all green up here. This is all blue down here. I went blue for NASDAQ, green. I'm still looking at this freaking chart right now. I'm watching all these TTSs coming into the market, and I know that my trail stops are not going to work the way I want them to work right now. Okay? And I need to monitor these bad boys. It's really, really, really stupid, but I need to. Yep. Hold on. So anyway, green up here is for ES, blue is for NQ. Anyway, let's put it back on the footprint so you guys can see what's going on here. You guys don't even know what's happening right now. My trail stop started activating down here just now. And they were coming to break even just below up here. I would have got stopped on this position because of my entries that occurred up here. And I was getting out. Oh, yeah, yoy. Hold on. I need to do some counting. All right, 1, 28, 31. Okay. I think. Oh, this initiative is hilarious. Okay. Erase drawing. What time is it? This has got to be. No, it's 5:30. We had the Nikkei open. We had a big sell on the Nikkei open. It was great to lock in some profit on one above 1R on all these short-term ads. Um, huh. There's just initiative coming into the market right now. That's all. Just a little odd. Welcome to GLOBEX. Fake out city. Let's see. So anyway, green on top is E-mini. Blue is NASDAQ. So, and I made that color change on every single DOM chart, TPO. Here, we'll go to the TPOs. So this is the E-mini TPO, the daily chart. Is this? Yeah, okay. This is current. This is the current Asia session. And then we have the ES weekly chart, right? So it's got the green. Then we've got the NQ daily. Okay. It's got the blue, right? Then we have the NQ weekly. It's got the blue as well because it's NQ. Yeah. The HUD even changed a little bit. Let's see, footprint. And so you could see how the NQ now has blue on some things, and the ES has green. So I'll never get it confused again because of color. And as you can see, all this up here, yeah, should you know that it's the top one? And yeah, but sometimes, if I'm trading just one, what I'll do is I'll take this whole thing and I'll move it down like this, just like that. And I'll have it cover the whole screen and I'll just focus on the E-mini, right? Because like the more vertical these things are, um, and the bigger they are, the more I could see rotations more clearly. So I could trade a little better if they're bigger even. It's like, if you have a footprint on your whole 49-inch monitor with a number 8 font, and these things have, what is it, 5440 by 14 something resolution, like it's great resolution. You can see so many cool things in the market because you see it's kind of like you see the whole pattern. You're not just in a maze looking at the next few corners. You see like the whole thing. And so it looks like a mosaic, like you see the patterns a lot more clearly. And that's why I have these 49-inch monitors up here, is because they really, really do help with having a very wide footprint and showing a lot more. I see these people that have footprints and they only can see like 1 or 2 bars or 3 bars. It's just painful. That's painful to me. But I don't know. If I had that kind of setup, I'd probably go for some sort of laptop or monitor that was extremely high resolution. And then I do like a number 7 font or 6 font, and I wouldn't even care about the numbers, just so that I could see more of the footprint. Because you want to see the way that these things, like this, right? These rotations, the covering, this is so interesting. Buying here now, and we're going less deep here on the E-mini. I don't know. It's just these things can be incredible. Maybe it's not so useful right here, right now, but they can be. All this stuff could be incredibly useful for volatility, right? Where you are able to see here like this. Are you able to see like rotations a little more clearly? What time is it? It's 5:37. See, I ate at a weird time. And so did my kid, and so did my wife. Because I made this little bit of food at, what, 2:30? So they've all eaten a little bit. We typically like to go 3 hours between meals. Probably about 6 o'clock I need to cut out. So that's about 20 minutes. We could have something fast. I think we have a homemade spaghetti sauce with lots of ground beef and stuff in it. We're gonna have that, fresh Parmesan, and some zucchini spirals, and call it good. It'll be nice and clean. It'll be tasty. Anyway, all right, just talking out loud here because this is the pits for me. Is seeing the market move up, go down, move up, go down to here, make higher lows. I'm still in a stupid position. It's not very profitable. I'm bored out of my mind. I'm not paying myself well. This is why I freaking hate GLOBEX trading. And it's like, I think it's just time to walk away. But anyway, I can be here for another 15 minutes, and then I'll go make dinner for the fam. Making me hungry. Yeah, sorry, TP. Why trade? Says Harmeet Randhawa. Um, Rand Harmeet, you know why we sometimes trade? Is because we're addicted. Yeah, it is so slow. Um, and also, the beginning of this session was a humongous gap, and it got me excited for some volatility. So you don't see big gaps like, Nasdaq was 200 points to the downside. You don't see gaps like this all the time, and usually they produce some really sweet volatility. Um, it's just typically what happens, and this one did not. It did for a little bit, and it's gone. Poof, the gap, the volatility is gone. So I got on because I don't often get on in GLOBEX, in part because I don't really like the speed of it. Uh, I don't think that there's a whole lot of people that are trading with me at this time or willing to talk. And we got 20, 30 people in here, so that's great. It doesn't bother me. So I'll be here for a little bit, talk to you guys, get educated a little bit, talk about whatever. Skip strike. Look at that. A whole point skipped on the NASDAQ, 83. Watch him go fill it in right now. Yeah, Alvaro, that's yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like to be able to say I have different rules for different trade types. And that's true. Yeah, there they go. Fill it back in. Fill it back in. Yeah, I have trades working out on swing. I have trades that aren't working out on swings. I'll day trade. I will buy for a retirement account and just let it sit. Because I'm watching markets and charting everything every week, the retirement account, I get itchy hands on that where I want to overmanage it. I'm buying for 5 years or something because I'm like, this is all profit and I'm buying pullbacks and I'll keep buying pullbacks and it's fine. This is just kind of like, it's like the house you buy and you just deal with the fact that rent is a little low. You're like, I'll get through it. And then once the housing market turns up and really goes, I'll sell, blah, 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 right? But long term, you don't have to stress about it. Now, as a short term trader, do I want to get itchy fingers and go, oh man, I'll get out of this trade early because I'm tracking movements? Sure. But it's also, I don't just have a time limit on my trades, generally speaking. There's times where you can say, here's my stop, and if it goes into my stop, I'm wrong. And if it continues going sideways here, then it makes sense if we have a volume ledge to probe lower. So it doesn't matter how long it takes to achieve that. That's what a stop is for. That's what automated, trail stops are for, right? That get you out of the trade automatically. So I can go to sleep and not worry about things. So I think that kind of mentality can sometimes be impatience talking. You know, if if your trade setup is I'm scalping and in this scalp it either works in my scenario or it doesn't, well then that's predefined, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Especially if in your experience you found that for your trading style that the best trades work right away for you. Great. But if that just becomes you can't hold trades for past 30 seconds because the market oscillates, well, you're going to miss a lot of moves based on market structure that take longer to pan out, right? So, it just, for me, it's more based on you're wrong at a predetermined level. And if you're taking profit too early and not following your plan, then that's bad. Which is, it's not a great thing that I sit here and lament these movements, right? I'm like, oh, I got in here, I could have got out here for 600 points. I got in here, I could have got out for another, whatever, 300 points. I got back in here, I got out some here, could have made another 400 points. Like, that's hindsight trading at its finest and not useful. But me essentially complaining about this is the fact that now I feel as a human being that I'm not getting paid well enough. So maybe I should just walk away. Let the trade go. I don't know. Leave the live stream up. It happens or it doesn't. People can still watch if they want. And then maybe I come back in a few hours and just cut the live stream. Win, lose, or draw, whatever happened. I don't know. Maybe I do that. Or maybe I just cut the live stream no matter what and then just call it good. But anyway, let's see. Yeah, I don't know. So Harmeet, hopefully I answered your question about why I'm in trading at GLOBEX. There was some volatility and I hoped to profit off of it short term. That's the truth. You want to know the truth? I'm up 87 points on the ES for GLOBEX. So whatever. I'm down 200 and something points on MES. So $450 as opposed to my E-minis, which are up 87.54 points on the GLOBEX session. So whatever. 8 times 5, it's $4,000. Something like that. So do these micro NASDAQs matter to me right now? Yeah, everything matters. But am I sweating holding a trade that might net me a 1,000 point micro loss against 4,000 plus on the E-mini in GLOBEX? No, because trading is about winning more than you lose. And if you can't accept losses as you're going, then get out the game. Stop trading right now because there's going to be losing days. You're going to have draw down and draw up. You're going to win and you're going to lose. If you can't accept the losing, trading's not for you because trading requires you to have a good attitude when you lose. What I mean by that is you can't be overwhelmed every time you have a stinking loss. Right. And if your favorite Furu just never shows you losses, then dump them because what they're doing is they're teaching you to always think of the market as this slot machine that only pays. Right. The market cranks out winners for you. Right. And if you have that expectation, instead of a loser, 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 big winner or whatever, according to your risk strategies. If you just think, man, I should be winning most of the time on big R trades, then you're going to be disappointed all the time, and it's unrealistic, and it won't happen for you like that. It might for little spurts of time, but anybody that is claiming to just win all the time on every trade and it always just goes well. Liars. Liars. Like I've said on live stream before, and I've showed you guys. You can win, 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 right? How many times have I knocked out 7, 8 wins in a row easy on less than 1R? You remember that one time I kept adding to the loser that had all the stops, and I went from, I don't know, plus 300 MNQ to like negative 100 or whatever it was, really fast, like stupidly fast. And I'm like, damn it. And someone was like, are you demonstrating it or something? I'm like, no, the trade just went against me because it happened fast. I was like, so I kept adding to it, thinking I'm going to get out at break even. And it sucked. And then I ended up stopping out, and then I was having a losing day. And I said, damn it, I need to stop talking, and I need to start watching, and I'm going to try and make this back. And that may have been the wrong move in terms of a teaching moment for people watching. And I ended up making it back in the next 25 minutes because I tried really hard and I quit talking. And I went hog wild a little bit. Not bigger position size, I just traded, right? I traded on stream without talking, without any educating, just clicking buttons. And people were chatting and I was ignoring everybody because I don't like losing as much as the next person. I don't like going from a small winning day to a losing day. That sucks. So, I haven't had a losing day on this, well, on all my day trading accounts for futures. I have not had a losing day this month. That's not so normal. Okay? That's just not. It's not normal for traders. It's not normal for me. So, my point is, don't have expectations that you're not going to be having losing streaks. It's pretty normal. And I find that GLOBEX I have less edge. But the fact of the matter is that GLOBEX sucks me in sometimes with these spurts of volatility. And then I just want to shoot myself after nothing happens. That's the truth. Nothing's happening. All I want to do is get out because I'm a scalper, I'm a bit of an activity whore, right? And I want things to happen. And I feel like this is nothing, it's not happening. And it's 5:52 in 12 seconds. And so now I really want it all to happen, and I want control. I want to watch this market the whole time. Look at that, those stops hit. You see it on the Nasdaq? Foomp, 30 contracts. Don't shoot yourself, please. I'm not. I'm not feeling suicidal this year. Uh-oh, might get deep here. 29. Let me think. 2019 was a bad year for me. Suicidal thoughts, not good. Had to get on antidepressants for the first time ever in my life. God, that was a bad year. So I do understand. I understand people who go through depressive thoughts and depression, and I've been there. I've been there. And I thought, I thought I would be the last person on earth to ever go through depression because I thought I wasn't built that way. And guess what? Apparently we can all get to that point. So, and it sucks because you don't often know when you're really depressed. You don't often know. God, this volatility is just compressing and compressing and compressing. You don't often know when you're depressed. you think that everything's okay, that you're just gonna push through things, and then I don't know, it gets darker, and then you are like, wait a second, this is way too dark, way too dark. Something's wrong because how did I go from never ever willing to talk about such things to now it's really dark, right? Then you go to visit a doctor, and the doctor goes, yeah, you're do you realize something is wrong? Right? So at the doctor's, I started crying because I didn't realize how bad I sounded. I was like, man, now that I'm saying this out loud to somebody, I was like, um, I realized just how nutty I sounded, um, just how depressed I sounded. That was rough, but it's hey, that's part of life. Some of you will understand, some of you will not. That's okay. Um, but anyway, I don't even know why I'm talking about this because I rant. Oh, because Brian said, "Don't shoot yourself, please." Jokingly. That's why. Sorry. Jeez. We got this live trader talking about his personal life. No, I'm just real. With people, you know. I'm not afraid to talk about the heavy crap with people. I'm just not. Will somebody please take some initiative and get us below 67? GLOBEX is making me depressed. Yeah, no shit. Brian says negativity and darkness is part of life. Can't always be happiness. Just gotta keep going. Gotta look at. You know what, Brian? That's right. And it's okay. It's okay to recognize also if we should all have the choice to say I don't want to live anymore. There's nothing wrong with that. For example, because I think about this from time to time. I'm not depressed, by the way. If so, my wife went to visit her sister, and she took the kids, Ben and my little one Sophia. So Sophia's 4 months, Ben's 4 years old, and I love my wife and family to a fault. I there's no fault in that, but I love them beyond what words can express. And I thought about because it's a dangerous road, there's a lot of accidents to my sister-in-law's house. I always worry about them when they drive that way. And she's almost been forced off the road a few times by people being very aggressive. So there's a casino above that area into Yosemite, up into the mountains, and where the road goes from two to no three to two lanes, people act stupid, and there's sometimes people who are going up there to party and they're aggressive and blah blah blah. So she's had a few situations there where she's close to oncoming traffic. And the accidents, when they occur over there, they're usually deadly. And so I worry every time she goes to her sister's, like, I know she has to drive through this little corridor. And so, because I love them so much, I start thinking about what if I lost them? And every stinking time I think about that, it shakes me to my core. But I allow myself to go down that road and I think about what would happen if my family left this earth too early, too soon, right? All of them, all my babies. Damn it. I can't even talk about this without crying, so I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to talk about it as detailed as I want to because I'm feeling myself choke up just thinking about it. I'm thinking about it too vividly. Okay. It would be okay for me in that scenario to say, I don't have a lot left to keep going. even if I could potentially find some situation that would give me some sense of peace. The grief, the amount of sadness that I would feel, like there would be nothing that could give me that joy that my family gives. So for me to choose in that moment, well, I don't really want to continue being alive. For me personally, would be okay. Anyway, and that is why that is why when the time comes, I go hang out with my family because trading is a little addictive, and I can lose trading and still have a very strong will to live. But if I lose my family, my will to live is gone. It's gone. At least short term. I know that it would happen. So, without further ado, you guys want me to leave this stream up? Um, or will you all just go away if I'm not talking? Because it's 6 o'clock and I'm gonna go hang out. Yeah, James, it's golly, it's a thing, man. You guys tell me, up or down? You guys, if you want me to leave it, I'll just leave this stream going with everything up. If even one person wants me to, I don't care. I'll just leave it up. It's all good. No, I'm gonna do me no matter what. I'll just leave it up. I won't care about the. All right, bail. Nah, take it down. Yeah, yeah, I gotcha. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Sorry to kind of, kind of get a little dark there, but that's okay too, man. That's part of life, and it's good to be balanced um, in how you approach trading because this thing, people like me, we talk about, hey, you got to be disciplined, you got to work hard, you got to put time in, but don't put so much in that you ignore the things that are most important to you. So it's kind of like, I don't know, going to college. Put the work in, get the good grades, then get out, go find a job and enjoy it. So same thing with trading. Put some work in, read some books, study hard, then go kill it. Anyway, have a good night. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Take it easy.